In the small, forgotten town of Millridge, a peculiar phenomenon had cast its sinister shadow over the lives of its inhabitants. It was a place that had fallen through the cracks of time, a town where the past and present were forever entangled in a nightmarish loop. The first signs of the time loop emerged when Emma Hawthorne, a young woman with a curious disposition, noticed something amiss. She had returned to Millridge after a long absence, hoping to rekindle her connections with her childhood friends. Little did she know that her homecoming would thrust her into a nightmarish cycle of events. The loop was deceptively subtle at first. Events would repeat themselves, conversations played out identically, and déjà vu became a constant companion. Millridge's quaint cobblestone streets seemed locked in an endless dance with time, with its inhabitants trapped as unwilling participants. The people of Millridge were caught in a cycle of mundane existence that refused to let go. They woke each morning to the same breakfast, walked the same streets, and held the same conversations. Their lives were governed by the cruel whims of the time loop, a loop that carried with it a sinister undertone. As days turned into weeks, the loop took a darker turn. Events began to deviate from the norm, with each iteration leading to increasingly sinister outcomes. A playful argument between friends would escalate into a violent confrontation, a minor accident would result in a life-threatening injury, and secrets long buried would resurface with devastating consequences. Emma, the newcomer to Millridge, was the first to notice the chilling pattern. She began to document the eerie recurrences, noting the small but unmistakable changes in each repetition of the day. The déjà vu that once seemed innocent now bore the weight of a malevolent force. Her childhood friends, who had once welcomed her with open arms, now seemed trapped in a nightmarish cycle of their own. They were mere shadows of their former selves, their faces etched with despair and confusion. The town's clock tower, once a source of pride and comfort, had become a symbol of their entrapment. Its incessant ticking seemed to mock the futility of their existence, a reminder that time, once an ally, had now become their tormentor. With each repetition, the loop's sinister undertone became more pronounced. Emma's friends would suffer the same accidents and injuries, their relationships deteriorating into bitterness and resentment. The once idyllic town was now a place of dark secrets, a theater of tragedy and despair. Desperate to break free from the nightmarish cycle, Emma began to investigate the town's history. She unearthed stories of an ancient curse that had befallen Millridge, a curse rooted in a dark ritual performed by the town's founders. It was a curse that bound the town's inhabitants to an eternity of repetition, a curse that could only be broken through a sacrifice of the purest heart. Emma's research led her to the town's elderly librarian, a reclusive figure who had become a repository of knowledge about the curse. The librarian revealed that Emma was the key to breaking the cycle. She was the only one in Millridge who had not been born there, and her heart was the purest of them all. Determined to free her friends and the town from the endless loop, Emma embarked on a perilous journey to uncover the ritual that could break the curse. The path was fraught with danger, as sinister forces within the town sought to maintain the status quo. With each repetition of the day, Emma inched closer to unlocking the secrets of the curse, all while navigating the ever-darkening path of the time loop. The town's descent into chaos and despair only deepened her determination to end the nightmarish cycle. As the sun set on another day in Millridge, Emma knew that the fate of the town rested on her shoulders. The loop had tightened its grip, but she was determined to unravel the curse, break the cycle, and free the town from the sinister shadow of an endless repetition. Emma's quest to break the nightmarish time loop led her down a treacherous path, one that wound through the darkest corners of Millridge's history and folklore. The town's secrets, buried deep beneath layers of repetition, slowly revealed themselves to her. And with each revelation, the sinister nature of the curse became increasingly apparent. In her journey, Emma encountered townspeople who were but echoes of their true selves, trapped in a cycle of despair. Friends she had once known as vibrant and full of life had become mere shells, their hopes and dreams snuffed out by the relentless repetition. The ominous clock tower continued its ceaseless ticking, a constant reminder of the town's entrapment. It had become an imposing sentinel, guarding the curse that held Millridge in its vice-like grip. As Emma delved deeper into the town's history, she discovered that the key to breaking the curse lay in a long-forgotten ritual performed by the town's founders. It was a ritual of darkness, fueled by the desperation of early settlers who sought to protect their fledgling community. The curse had been intended to shield Millridge from external threats, but in its malevolence, it had turned inward, consuming the very people it was meant to protect. To break the curse, Emma would need to retrace the steps of the founders and replicate the ritual, with a crucial difference. Instead of sealing the town's fate, she would use the ritual's power to unbind it. The ritual required the heart of the purest soul, a sacrifice that would require immense courage and selflessness. Emma knew that she was the only one in Millridge who could fulfill that role, having been born outside the town's boundaries. As the town's relentless cycle continued, the darkness of the curse grew more pronounced. Each day brought new horrors, new tragedies, and the burden of ending the suffering weighed heavily on Emma's shoulders. With each repetition, she faced challenges and obstacles meant to deter her from her mission. Sinister forces within the town sought to maintain the status quo, as if the curse itself had taken on a malevolent consciousness. But Emma's determination was unwavering. She tirelessly uncovered the elements of the ritual, ancient artifacts and incantations hidden in the town's history. She enlisted the help of those who had once been her friends, their recognition of her mission gradually breaking through the apathy that had ensnared them. As she gathered the necessary components for the ritual, Emma's heart filled with both hope and trepidation. The time loop was a relentless adversary, but her determination to free the town from its grip burned brighter with each passing day. The climactic moment arrived as Emma stood before the clock tower, its ominous presence a stark reminder of the curse's enduring hold. With the ritual prepared and the townspeople gathered to witness, she embarked on the final, perilous step. As the incantations echoed through the town square, a shimmering energy enveloped her, and the world seemed to hold its breath. In a selfless act of sacrifice, she offered her own pure heart to the ritual, a symbol of hope in the face of darkness. The curse's malevolent grip began to wane, and a profound sense of relief washed over the townspeople. The relentless repetition that had bound Millridge to a nightmarish cycle for generations began to unravel. With each tick of the clock tower, the town's existence was rewritten, a new chapter unfolding. The relentless loop that had held the town captive for so long was finally breaking. As the last remnants of the time loop dissipated, the town of Millridge awoke to a new reality, a reality in which the cycle of repetition had been shattered. The once sinister clock tower had ceased its relentless ticking, becoming a mere relic of the past. The townspeople, liberated from the curse, were free to embrace the beauty of a world no longer confined by the malevolent loop. The transformation was profound, as though a collective weight had been lifted from their shoulders. The friends Emma had known as shadows of their former selves had returned to their vibrant, lively selves. Laughter echoed through the cobblestone streets, and the townspeople embraced the newfound freedom to make choices, to create their destinies. Millridge's history, once marred by darkness, began to take on a brighter hue. The town's folklore and traditions were rekindled, this time without the ominous undertone of the curse. The sense of community and unity was stronger than ever before. As the days passed, Emma found solace in knowing that her sacrifice had broken the nightmarish cycle that had ensnared Millridge for generations. She had brought light to a town that had been trapped in darkness, and the gratitude of the townspeople filled her heart with warmth. Millridge's transformation was a testament to the indomitable human spirit and the power of selflessness. The town had been liberated from the sinister shadow of the time loop, and a new beginning had dawned. For Emma and the people of Millridge, the haunting echoes of the past would forever remind them of the strength to break free from the most relentless of curses, to embrace the infinite possibilities of a world no longer bound by repetition. The town had reclaimed its future, and the promise of a new beginning shone brightly on the horizon.